For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. or online, lundmortgage.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio, celebrating their 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is going big.
That's right, Austin. Sports bettors can win a new truck, get the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus, and even get up to 30 risk-free bets.
Touchdown. BetUS also has a 150% casino sign-up bonus.
Blackjack, now you're talking, Austin. They also have live dealers and live betting on sports, including racetrack.
Get started today at BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/primetime and use code PRIMETIME. That's code PRIMETIME at prizepicks.com/primetime for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
Here we go.
This is KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting at K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Thursday here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room. Hey, look, there's Ralph from Harmon Solar. And you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And, years ago, I walked in, and I'm watching the Diamondbacks game on the screen, and I go on air, and I'm like, wow, this game is getting pretty good here. And they're like, Jeffrey, that's a replay from yesterday. And so now I always am a little careful. And so yesterday, the Diamondbacks lost the Mets 7-1. And I look up at the screen, and I'm like, oh, is this a replay? It's got to be a replay, right?
No.
The Mets are up 7-0. This has got to be a replay from yesterday. It was 7-1 yesterday. It's 7-0 right now. Bottom of the sixth, 1 out. And no, it's the same old crap. Another day. I thought you said we were supposed to be able to handle these guys, Randy.
Well, we were supposed to, but the Mets decided that they wanted to be better, and our pitching staff wanted to go ahead and just give up a mass amount of runs to the New York Mets. So, again, like I said, and I'm sure Ralph will agree with me, this is the time of year, especially where the Diamondbacks are, winning is a premium. And if you're going to give up 2 to a team that's been reeling all year, I go ahead. But you've got no one to blame but yourselves when it comes playoff time and you're sitting at home.
Well, this is I don't know what's going on with the Giants and the Marlins today, but this is the kind of thing that throws you in the back seat and it takes you completely out of the wild card, man. I mean, it was good yesterday because the Dodgers lost to the Padres. Yeah, that just made me feel good. There's really no implication to us on that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you're that part.
Well, I'm hoping that the Diamondbacks can win some, and the Dodgers can lose some, and you end up being wrong. You know, if you win by 9 games, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm not wrong.
So this sucks. This sucks a lot, man.
The Marlins lost to the Brewers today 4-2, and right now Rockies and Giants are postponed.
All right, well, we're just going to delay some inevitable, but whatever. So, all right, I guess that's where we are now. We go from being, hey, we got our crap together, we're beating good teams, to, hey, we're playing the Mets and we're getting our asses kicked. Fantastic.
Yeah, well, and we've got 3 against the Cubs, and the Cubs owe us a little bit at our own stadium. So that's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, brother. Anyway, well, all right. So that's what's happening right now. I just wish it was a replay. So listen, here's what's going on today. Thursday night football is coming up at 4:30 p.m. And so we're going to do our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks in this hour. And in the next hour, we're going to talk to Scott Engel, Scott E. the King, Mr. the King, as Randy likes to call him. And he is the Fantasy Sports Writing Association Hall of Famer and writer from The Game Day, which is actually kind of a cool site. Have you spent much time over there? You should probably check it out. If you're into gambling or fantasy football, that site is a good site to go spend some time at, thegameday.com. But Scott will be with us in the next hour as we get all the fantasy football help we can get. And I think we're going to let Ralph go first this week. Holy cow.
He does need the most of the help, right?
I will ask my 12 brother for some advice.
My God. Well, you asked him for advice last week, and you're in dead last.
He actually gave me really bad advice on one.
Well, here's the thing. You know, it's the same thing with Rosalie Michaels or with Scott Engel. These are 2 people who are professionals, and they're very good at what they do. And generally, I get to hear from people all year round. Oh, my God, Rosalie Michaels saved my fantasy football weekend. Oh, my God, she helped me win a championship. But then there's also the people who are like, holy crap, that was the worst advice I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, everybody's human. Everybody's human. You know, you can't get it right 100% of the time.
It's like if you take gambling advice from somebody, you know, for instance, Against the Spread. Against the Spread has made me a nice amount of money. He has missed a couple of times, but you're gonna. That's just comes with playing fantasy football or betting or anything else.
Yep.
By the way, Ralph, there's a button right there. You see where it says the word cough? Yeah. He bends over to cough and he looks right at it. Oh, I guess I could have hit that. That's there for your convenience. Of course, now that you've had a nice cough, my wife who's listening, she's like, because she's worried you're going to give me COVID again.
Last time you gave me COVID, I
never, and she knows.
Last time I was in the studio, I walked in with COVID thanks to you.
You walked in with COVID.
Nope.
You walked in
you
with
are
COVID.
A super spreader.
I'm telling you right now, that's the same kind of crap Ralph says. Yeah, I was going for the Rams the entire time. That's the same BS.
Absolutely was. I don't know what you're talking about.
Blissful Hayes says, I have an idea for Radio Ron. Blender should start an hour and a half earlier on Monday. You shut your mouth, Blissful Hayes.
Let's see. Blissful Hayes. Ron says no.
Yeah, I've just deleted him. You're never going to hear from him again.
He's some kind of snitch, Blissful Hayes.
Jeez. Donnie is on the text line. He says, Baru. I think he's trying to sound the horn, Randy. Is that how it spells out? Baru. Happy Thursday night football game day, boys. Let's hope Skol clips those loser Eagles tonight. I'm nervous, but I'm going to say 24-21 purple.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, I'm not gonna. We're gonna do our picks here in a minute, but I think you might be lonely, Donnie. I think you might be lonely on this.
Wow.
Hey, yesterday we talked about how the NBA Board of Governors is going to improve the new rule allowing league to fine teams for resting players, and they actually went ahead and passed that. That is a real thing now. So now, but here's a couple of things that I saw highlighted. Nationally televised games or in-season tournament games. They don't give a crap if you're sitting there at home and Bob has bought some tickets and spend his hard-earned cash and saved up his money so little Timmy can go see his first basketball game and finally get to see some stars. And they sit down and they're watching the bench play. No, the NBA doesn't care about that. They want to make sure if it's nationally televised, the ratings are good. And they want to make sure if it's the in-season tournament, they actually have some players of note to play it. They don't care about you. This is all about the money. So I'm really disappointed in that aspect of it.
Pretty sure we could have called that, though. I mean,
I'm always hopeful. There's things I'm always hopeful. I'm hopeful that maybe they'll be human, do the right thing. I'm hopeful that my fantasy football team will win. I'm hopeful that the Colts will do well. I'm hopeful that Ralph will remember to wear deodorant. But no, sometimes you don't get what you want in this world.
That's true. That's true.
Could you open the door, please? I'm not even kidding.
You're so full of it.
Must be all that
just
garbage.
Unnecessary. Oh my God.
Holy crud.
Is that what it is? Oh, by the way, Peyton Manning can't get anybody. We talked about this before to be in season 2 of quarterback. And now Matt Stafford, I think after he came back, he's like, oh, thank God the elbow's working. I'm okay. He's like, yeah, maybe I'll be on there. Maybe I'll be on there now that things seem to be working again. And he's like, I've had discussion. He says, I don't know if there's going to actually be a season. And Peyton Manning's like, yeah, nobody's calling us back. Nobody wants to do this. He says, I think some people think it's going to be a distraction. He says, even though I told a couple of people, I guarantee you'll win a Super Bowl, just like Mahomes did if you're on the show. Yeah, just like Mariota did, right? Anyway, so Matthew Stafford might be in, but it seems to me like this idea is dying of death just because nobody was ready to go from the beginning.
I don't understand why these media outlets continually want to follow these teams around, because the teams are just not having any of it. Did you see last weekend when the Jets, they scored that winning touchdown? And did you see the HBO team running across the boom operator had his boom mic up and the camera guy was going over there when they were celebrating in the end zone? I mean, these teams don't want that kind of stuff going on.
Wasn't that like Greg Gumbel's lackeys? Because Hard Knocks was over before the actual regular season.
Hard Knocks ends in the last week of training camp.
Right.
But
then it's some other thing because
Greg Gumbel's Stooges, but then now they found out that Greg Gumbel's show is going to be done after this year.
All these cameras are here anyway. That's the stuff that, like, for the in the season stuff, like the HBO's already got cameras there. NFL Films has already got cameras there. ESPN, Fox,
on the sideline, maybe, and but they're not following them around.
For HBO, they are, because they use the footage for Real Sports and Inside the NFL, where they've got you mic'd up, and it's a half-hour show of the best of the mic'd up stuff from the last weekend. Like it's always there. Like, I don't know that you can necessarily get rid of it, but I do think that with individual quarterbacks, they don't want to just see you watch film and practice. They want to follow you to your house. And what is it like to be an NFL quarterback, even when you're off the clock? That kind of stuff. I can see how quarterbacks might not want.
We're going to need to sleep with your wife to get a real feel for
let's see. I don't think that's what they're asking. Yeah, that'd be very.
That's why Aaron Rodgers was okay with Hard Knocks. He didn't have a wife, so it's all right.
Well, he didn't like Hard Knocks the most, I think, out of anybody.
Yeah,
which is.
So here we are. I don't know if HBO is going to be around anymore with their cameras any more than I think we're done with that, right? So and Peyton Manning, he's not like a media outlet. He's just a guy trying to create some content there with his production company. It's a little bit different, it's a little more intimate, a little personal.
Don't they do an in-season Hard Knocks? That's not happening.
They haven't announced it yet, but I'm sure that with whatever hapless team like the Seahawks,
the
they'll end up doing it mid-season. So
I can see Cardinals or Colts.
I've already done it.
They probably want to do NFL teams. They probably won't do either one of them.
Ouch. Yeah, I can't even argue on that right now. Can't argue that. Fifth letter says, Ralph, I already gave the fellas a hard time earlier in the week. Nice pick on the Raiders-Broncos game, though. Just win, baby. Broken Bills are next. Boomer Sooner says, did you hear Norvell, the Colorado State coach, said to the media, I was taught to take my hat and glasses off when I'm talking with adults. He was ragging on Prime. Yeah, because Prime sits there with his sunglasses on and he does his thing, but who cares?
It's Prime, man. Prime's Prime.
This is a dumb thing for him to say.
And Deion Sanders, of all people,
Right.
has never taken his glasses off for any reason.
No.
Even at night, he'll wear sunglasses. Like he's not doing it. He's just not doing it. Jay Norvell, I think, is trying to get some attention on his team.
Few people get away with it.
Run over on Saturday.
Deion will get away with it, and now he's just giving Deion Sanders a reason to be grumpy and I don't know if it really counts as bulletin board material.
Only in as much as do you want to incentivize Deion to run the score up on you because he'll do it.
I think he'd do that anyway.
He could do it anyway, but he like a lot of coaches, if they're on good terms with you, you get up a certain level and they call off the dogs, right? You start putting in the backups and just we'll coast to this win because the goal was to win, not embarrass you.
I can remember a time when Tim McCarver and Deion had a little feud going. Tim McCarver, the broadcaster at the time, not the ball player. And in a World Series celebration, Deion ran up to McCarver with a bucket full of ice and water and dumped it on McCarver while he was doing an interview, which almost caused the two of them to throw hands. I think Deion would have beat his ass.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying. So if you want to go ahead and get go ahead and do this with Deion Sanders, like Keon says, it's 78-0. Colorado wins. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
What if I don't call off the dogs? What if Shedeur Sanders takes every snap in the fourth quarter?
Oh, all right.
That could happen to you.
The Jet says he's absolutely going to run the score up, no matter what anyone said. He's trying to get his son a Heisman Trophy. I guarantee you, he's going to be in the fourth quarter. They'll be up by 50 points, and he'll still be throwing the ball.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, but they didn't do that in the last couple of weeks. I mean, they were able to get their point across. But for Jay Norvell, it might be a little something extra.
I was going to say, I think this is a nice little story for Colorado. Let them enjoy it for one more week because after next week, they play Oregon. They got to play SC, and they're going to realize, oh, crud, these teams are really good, and we're not as good as we thought. We were just playing bad teams. So let them enjoy it right now, and you're going to see two massacres probably in the week after.
The question is how will Deion Sanders respond to it?
Right, exactly. How's he going to act in those press conferences? How's he going to act toward those coaches? I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to get killed in both those games.
So if he maintains his composure, then okay. But if he starts to act up, be a fool, then his coaching career is not going to last long. But he's he did pretty good with everything last year, right? I mean, he didn't act up or nothing, or just talk silly.
He wasn't really in the spotlight.
But you're when you're coaching at Jackson State, it's just not the same. Right. Especially like if they win this game against Colorado State and say they pull off the impossible and beat Oregon, like the expectations on you for a USC game is going to be bigger than you've ever had as a coach at that point. Like you are going to be under the spotlight and under the gun, I think, in a way that you haven't been before.
Pro Dog wants everyone to know he's on his way. I feel like that text might be for somebody else.
All right.
On my way. Okay.
Do it safely.
The Jet says Sanders played the starters up until the last two drives against Nebraska. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And, he's got to make it look good.
They weren't beating Nebraska the way that they could potentially be beating Colorado State. They could really put Colorado State to sleep. It's because that's the worst team they've played so far.
So is every team that Deion Sanders, Colorado, Buffalo's going to play going forward an ass kicking waiting for him? Or is it just there's like a handful of bad teams?
Oregon is, SC is, ASU will be interesting. I think Stanford could be, they could beat Stanford. UCLA, they're going to get beat. Oregon State, they're going to get beat. I think U of A beats them. I think WSU beats them, and I think Utah beats them. So, yeah, I think there's a few more wins in there, but I think overall they're gonna be on the other side a lot the rest of the season. That's my opinion.
It's going to be interesting to see how he handles all that. 888-368-1580 is the number, and of course, coming up at 4:30 p.m., we got Vikings at Eagles. Some other stuff that's happening this week in high school basketball. The Armpit Bowl, Globe versus Miami in high school football. This is nothing personal tournament than kids, but oh dear God, what a horrible place to live. Saturday, college football between South Carolina and Georgia at noon. On Sunday morning, got Ravens at Bengals, And then Sunday night football is the Dolphins at the Patriots. And then Monday Night Football, Browns at Steelers. You know, there's 2 games going on at the same time on Monday. Did you know that?
I hate when they do
Why? One after the other. You want to give me, a double header? I'm in, no problem. But you start one game and like a half an hour later, you start the other. It's like, do I need Sunday ticket for this? Why are they doing this?
I have a question.
Yes, Randy White, 1580 The Fanatic. Go ahead.
You. Is Snarky Levy going to be calling one of those Monday night games? Dear God, I hope not.
Not for us.
No, but I mean,
not for us, but probably.
Oh no.
We have Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner, and we're airing the Browns and Steelers game. The other game is New Orleans at Carolina. And now you know why we're carrying the Browns at Steelers game. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know why the NFL thought this is a good idea. This is actually, Monday night, you get one game. You got one broadcast. You get to see that game. It's like you have a monopoly on this. Now you're going to have 2 games, and they're both, broadcast. So, what are you doing?
ESPN paid a lot of money to have this doubleheader. This simultaneous
it's not a doubleheader. Yeah, that's dumb.
Okay, there's no Levy, I don't think.
Thank God.
You get one crew that's obviously Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters. The other crew is Chris Fowler, Louis Riddick, Dan Orlovsky, and Laura Rutledge.
So I guess if you're watching on the telly, you just back and forth, and you're Levy free, Randy. You're Levy free.
I mean, we dodged that bullet. Yeah. Can I just say it? We dodged that bullet.
Yeah. But, it is ESPN, so it's only a matter of time.
I mean, Fowler's not bad. I like the way he calls the game.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's do our picks. That's right. The Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em picks and, something else. I don't know. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brett Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
The Arizona Cardinals will be home on Sunday to take on the New York Giants week 2 in the NFL. The Cardinals a 4.5-point underdog at home, plus 176 on the money line. The Giants minus 210. Over under is at 39.5. Major League Baseball, the Diamondbacks will send Merrill Kelly to the bump tonight in New York against the Mets. We'll go with Kodai Senga. The Diamondbacks minus a 1.5 plus 172 on the run line. The Mets getting a 1.5 minus 210. On the money line, Arizona minus 102. The Mets minus 116. The over-under is at 7. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Head coach Kenny Dillingham and Sun Devil football host Mountain West Conference opponent Fresno State in a highly anticipated matchup Saturday, September 16th at 7:30 p.m. for the annual City of Tempe night. Make Mountain America Stadium echo from the Buttes when the Bulldogs come to town. Single game and mini plan options are available to watch the Sun Devils take on Fresno State. Get your tickets today. Call 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Be there, be loud, and wear gold.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio. Celebrating their 30th year, our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host, and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
It's our night. It's our time to go win it.
Thursday night, it's another black and blue matchup when the Vikings take aim at the reigning NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football.
What surprises does Jalen Hurts have in store for the Purple Horde from Minnesota?
Can the Vikes get their defense to stop the prolific scoring machine that Philly possesses?
Westwood One has the call of all the action.
On your home for the NFL, playoffs, and Super Bowl 58 live.
1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic, and it's time that we do our picks, gentlemen. Our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks, and last week, Ralph, you did pretty good. You actually did all right. No,
Like an
seriously.
8?
Yeah, well, I had 6.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad. It was my worst week of picks ever, but that just shows you how goofy this week was. I'll come back. I don't know. I'm not going to win it this time, but
Wait, what did Randy have?
he was fine.
I had 5.
He had 5. I didn't want to say.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I had 5.
Keon had 8 or 9.
9.
9.
So he beat us.
Radio Ron had 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
You had 8.
Radio Ron had 10.
Yeah. Spooky Ron is back. That's a weird week,
yeah.
so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and do the radio station broadcast games first. And we'll start with Donnie's wet dream. The Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Last week, it was kind of an ugly game, even though they won for the Eagles. Last week, kind of an ugly game for the Vikings, and they lost the hell out of it. So will the Vikings make a comeback? Will you like that, Donnie? Will you like that? Or will Jalen Hurts continue his road back to try to win that Super Bowl? Randy, what do you say?
Well, I mean, I got to go right now. It's going to be a home game. Philadelphia excited to be out there. It's a kind of a short week, and I think that Minnesota defense is suspect. So give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles to win. Probably a closer game than everybody thinks.
Keon, are the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl this year?
They have a very good chance to, and I do think that it'll continue with this game. Like they're going to play really good football. They started off playing really good football last week against the Patriots, and then did the thing that they did basically the second half of last year that annoyed the hell out of me. They took their foot off the gas, and things got really ugly. But I do think that Randy's right. This defense is suspect, but also give you another one. I think their offensive line is suspect. The inside of that Vikings line is not great, and Jalen Carter looked like a monster in New England last week.
Ralph, will we find out that Kirk Cousins is just like Ken from the movie Barbie, completely lacking a penis?
Wow.
I don't know that we will.
These are legit sports questions, people.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. He's got kids.
I mean, I guess.
Ken?
Well, you can adopt.
No, Kirk.
They all look a lot like the mailman.
Yeah.
Answer my question, Ralph.
I don't know if he has a penis. I don't know what to say. You threw me off.
Well,
I
who
guess,
do you think's going to win the
well,
damn
you
game?
know what? I don't freaking know after last week. I mean, I really don't. Last week just destroyed me, so I'm not sure. I'm going to pretend last week didn't happen. Kirk Cousins is terrible in the prime time. That I know. He always fails in the big games that are on national TV. So based on that alone, I'm going to take the Eagles. That's the only reason.
I got the Eagles as well. That seems kind of like a no-brainer that they're at home, and we'll see what happens. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. Moving on to our next game on Sunday morning, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now that was a weird thing last week. Both Joe Burrow, Cool Joe, and the Ravens, Lamar Jackson.
Cool Joe. There's only one Joe Cool, and that's Snoopy.
Had a hard day, and sure the Ravens won, but Lamar Jackson had 8 points in fantasy. The Bengals lost. Joe had like 4 or 5 points in fantasy.
Yeah,
it was just bad for both those quarterbacks. But all right. So the Ravens won an ugly game. The Bengals lost an ugly game. It's kind of hard to sort out the who's who and the what's what on this. So, all right, Keon, what do you look at here? Do you say, all right, it was just one weird week for Lamar Jackson, they'll be fine, or same thing for the Bengals? Where do you go here?
Yeah, it's a weird matchup because I don't think, obviously, we've seen the best of the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, they're not even close. They look like a completely different team. It was let's not throw the ball downfield to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That's not like them. Let's not apply pressure on defense. Well, that's not like them either. They just played a completely uncharacteristic game, and I don't know if that's because they're trying something new or what. They started this slow last year too. I mean, maybe not this slow, but they started slow. So I don't know if they're going to be able to turn it around this week or if it's going to be another week. I struggle with what the Bengals are right now. I think the Ravens, I know that their defense is really good. I know that pass rush is really damn good. But they do have some concerning injuries. Marlon Humphrey's not going to be there. A couple of guys injured on the offensive line as well. I am going with the Ravens because I believe that the defense looked good. I think there are just less things that look wrong with the Ravens than look with the Bengals.
All right. So Randy, Joe Burrow, is 5-year, $270 million extension.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess after the game the other day when he lost, he's like, oh, I got to get a haircut. So he ran out and got a haircut.
Yeah.
He got it all nice and short and tight.
Oh, yeah.
He did some weird crap with his bangs, though. That was just what the hell is that?
That's kind of what he does. Yeah.
So he's freshly shorn.
Yeah.
Will that help him, or is it just going to end badly for him this week?
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Early in the season, the Bengals don't play the Ravens well, and to exemplify that, last year on October 9th, the Bengals lost to Baltimore 17-19. The season before that, they lost early in the season as well, and so I think I'm going to go with the Ravens here. I think the Ravens' defense is too much for that the Bengals offense, and I agree with Keon. I think the Bengals started a little slow last year, and whether he got a nice new haircut or not, I don't think it's going to help. I think it'll be a closer game. I think that Cool Joe will be much better than what he was last week, but still give me the Ravens to win this game.
I'm going with the Ravens as well. I feel like, for all the reasons you guys have said, if you look at the teams on paper or if you watched them, the Ravens just look like they've got a more solid team right now. Ralph?
I'm going Bengals. I think the Bengals are not going to start the season 0-2. I just don't see it. I think Burrow's going to play a lot better. I think overall as a team, it was a smack in the face last week, and you're not going to see them lose this game at home. I'm going to be opposite. I say Bengals win this game. Close game.
All right. So I guess Ralph believes in haircuts. That's what matters.
I should get one.
So next game up, Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, you got the Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins visiting Bill Belichick and his Patriots at Foxborough. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't believe in Mac Jones at all. Don't believe in these Patriots at all. I feel like, the Dolphins, I know that I know you're going to talk to me about the Patriots defense. I don't care. It's going to be the Miami Dolphins. You made a face, Keon. Is it about the defense?
No.
Did somebody fart?
No, I just saw a hit on TV. I mean,
when I said that, I thought it was just like, oh, that's so wrong. So what, am I wrong about this game?
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, the Patriots do have a good defense, and actually Mac Jones was pretty solid last week. I don't think the Patriots are going to be a bad team this year. However, the Dolphins have something offensively. They just seem to be ahead of everybody in that division right now.
Tyreek Hill.
By a lot. Tyreek Hill, which, by the way, they had a play last week where they lined up Tyreek Hill at tight end, then motioned him, and then snapped the ball. So Tyreek ran full speed to his right and then up the field. He was already at full speed by the time he was 5 yards up. And I don't know what DB is supposed to cover that. Like, I really have no clue. And they kind of figured stuff out to slow Tyreek down last year, but they've changed some things in this Miami offense, and they look comfortable, and it looks good, and I'm taking the Dolphins.
All right, Ralph, do you believe in Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa, or do you think Bill Belichick's genius with the young Mac Jones is going to get it done in Foxborough?
I believe they're good players. I also believe it's tough to win that second game in a row on the road. I'm gonna take New England at home. I think New England's defense is really good. I think the fact that the Dolphins are traveling again is going to have a little bit of impact. I think they played great last week in beating up what I think is a good Charger team, but who knows? I mean, they could be a bad Charger team. But the New England Patriots played really well against Eagles, and I think they're going to win this game. I think it'll be really close. It's probably a really late win, but I think they win.
Hey, with a lot of things, I think you're wrong.
I know.
Randy, is he wrong or is my right?
Well, I don't know that he's wrong, but my prediction is that if Bill Belichick shuts down Tyreek Hill, they still have to deal with Jalen Waddle, and they still have to deal with some sort of a run game. And I think the Dolphin defense is good enough to shut down Mac Jones in that offense for New England. So I'm going to take Miami on the road in New England to win, but I think it's going to be a close game.
So far, Ralph has been contrary on 2 games where we all said the Ravens. He said Cincinnati. We all said Miami. He says New England. This will be an interesting week.
Somebody's got to be right. So
yeah, might as well be. Next game up, Sunday Night Football. The Cleveland Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. My fantasy is as follows. TJ Watt comes across, breaks both the legs of Deshaun Watson. He gets carted off. We never see him again. But because TJ Watt's not there for the defense anymore, the Cleveland Browns then win the game. I don't even know who the backup is. Don't care. And the Cleveland Browns go to 2-0, and the Pittsburgh Steelers go to 0-2. Anybody want to get on this train? Because that's an amazing piece of analysis right there.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah,
well,
I'm in awe.
I don't know that's what's going to happen. I mean, I would hope that's what happened, but I got to tell you, Jeffrey,
speak it into being, like Coach Prime says.
Well, the Cleveland defense, they were on fire last week, and I don't think that I don't think the Steelers have figured out what the hell's wrong with their team yet. I mean, Kenny Pickett did not look good. He looked a bit befuddled, and I think that Deshaun, excuse me while I drop my towel, Watson. He did well enough, along with Nick Chubb and some of the offensive weapons that he has, to win the game. And I think he does it again. I think Cleveland wins this game.
Ralph, support my fantasies.
I want to say Cleveland's going to win. The defense looked so good last week. They impressed me. Pittsburgh looks so bad.
Well, my fantasy is only that Deshaun Watson's legs get broken.
Well, and that could happen. I mean, so I'll support that.
Thank you.
But all of me wants to say Cleveland wins this game based on what happened last week. Based on what happened last week, that just wasn't real. Nothing was real last week, except for a couple of things maybe. But I think at home Monday night, I'm a Mike Tomlin guy. I think he's an amazing coach. He's done a great job with his team. I think as bad as they looked last week, they're going to look that good this week. And
he can still be an amazing coach and lose.
I know that.
What's going to happen, Keon? Is he going to win or is he going to lose?
I think he's going to lose, and not because he's not a great coach. I like Mike Tomlin a lot. I think he's fantastic, but I do think that Cleveland defense is real. I saw nothing from that offense to suggest that they are any good or that Deshaun Watson's any better than he was a year ago. Honestly, he looked okay, but the defense, they looked insanely improved, and part of that was Myles Garrett got to be one-on-one, which is something he almost never got to do. He was actually the most double-teamed defensive end last season. Yeah, you can't do it anymore because it got Darius Smith on the other side. And, that guy's going to win his fair share of one-on-ones too. So you got to figure out who's going to be your poison. And if the poison is Myles Garrett, he's going to blow your quarterback up. Yeah. And Kenny Pickett is like, what if Josh Allen had less tools? Just less size, a weaker arm, less mobility. He's like less of everything that Josh Allen is.
Wow.
I just don't see him getting the best of this defense. I can't pick him.
Randy?
I already did my pick.
Ralph? Oh, did everybody already?
Yeah, I think we already did.
Sorry, I've been having a problem. The text line has been malfunctioning.
That's okay.
All right, let's move on to the who gives a crap Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. Derek Carr versus, I've already forgotten. Who's the quarterback for the Panthers now? Is that Bryce Young? Okay, yeah. Okay.
The number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Just him.
Well, he lost last week. So
what difference does that make? Your quarterback lost too. You forget his name too, or what?
No, because he's my quarterback. I don't care about their quarterback. So, all right. Carolina Panthers at home. Bryce Young going to step it up and finally win a game, or is Derek Carr going to keep his eyeliner intact and not streaking down his face because they lose? It's Saints or Panthers, Randy?
Saints, and I don't really know any other reason except that the Carolina Panthers are not that good.
Yeah, they stink. I'm going to go with the Saints as well, just for that reason. Keon?
Yeah, the Panthers, not a whole lot of talent going on. I feel bad for Bryce Young. There's nothing for him to throw to, and there's virtually nobody blocking him. And the Saints do look much healthier than they did a year ago. And, it's showing up on the field.
Ralph?
Saints. I'm just going to keep it simple.
Yeah,
Saints,
keeping it simple. We're all on the Saints on this one. 888-368-1580. Big George says, Jeffrey, you got some weird fantasies. I feel like my fantasies are,
weird.
Well, I was going to say universally shared by all. He says, mine fantasies usually involve naked women or time traveling. But if you dream about Deshaun Watson, well, no kink shame here. Yeah, well, I'm dreaming about him getting disfigured, disabled, just destroyed. Yeah, whatever.
You're allowed to have more than one, Like, you can also have a fantasy where you get wealthy. I mean, you're allowed to have more than one fantasy. It doesn't have to
right now. This is my only fantasy is that somebody breaks his legs because he's got it coming.
I was just saying to Big George, like you can both dream of naked women and the
I see
leglessness of Deshaun Watson. You don't have to choose. Why do you have to choose?
Well, if I won the lottery, I could make it happen.
Oh wow!
Just saying.
I got a number.
Ralph,
I don't know that number.
Unsurprisingly,
that number ain't cheap. I know how it
knows
goes.
the guy.
I got a guy.
I work in the show business. I know guys that got guys too. Just got to spend. Got to take a trip.
A good guy.
Used to be to take a trip to Vegas. All right, listen. We got to take a break. When we come back, we got my game, your game, his game, their game, and maybe some extra games too. We're doing our Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em picks, and we'll be back after this. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Ian Eagle here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. NFC action coming up from Philadelphia when the Eagles take on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. Jason and Devin McCourty will join me in the booth for the call as Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown look to build on their opening game win. Don't miss any of the primetime NFL action coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you're always getting professional grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, two of the most exciting offenses in the NFL matchup when the Minnesota Vikings take on the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. It's the Vikings and the Eagles tonight on Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you're always getting professional grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio. Celebrating their 30th year, our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host, and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com. where the game begins.
Greg Clark Automotive trains certified technicians located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue, servicing Valley automobiles 44 summers now, offering our summer cooling system inspection diagnosis on the belts, water pump, radiator, and hoses. Every air conditioning service includes a dye injection to find leaks. Contact us today at 602-246-2881 and online at gregclarkautomotive.com. Mention 1580 and get 10% off of labor.
I'm an Arizona truck driver. I deliver food, medicine, supplies, and hope.
And during times of crisis, I support our communities. But every day I see people putting lives and families at risk.
Distracted driving is deadly, period. Be aware, be safe, and visit sharetheroadaz.com and find tips on how to drive safely around trucks.
This message is sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation.
1580 The Fanatic.
And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And all right, so now we're down to our games. We got to figure out, our own misery, I guess. Bruno Baller says Jeffrey was fortunate enough to marry his fantasy woman, so no need for him to look anymore. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. My fantasies now involve crippling Deshaun Watson or winning the lottery. That's all. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead. Who wants their game first? You want to talk about Seattle getting beat by Detroit, or do we want to talk about something else? Well, let's do that.
We can.
Seattle's going to get beat by Detroit. That's just going to happen. Detroit Lions, Jared Goff going to outmatch you guys got rocked.
In the second half, we did, yeah.
In that game, Geno Smith, he looked like he just got off a double shift after that, man. He just had this look in his eyes like, oh my God.
You stared at Aaron Donald coming at you for his whole second half. You'd be like that too.
Just loved that audio. Oh my God.
That was awesome. That was so funny.
He actually got mic'd up. You could hear him. Oh my God. It wasn't even like he was mic'd up. The actual parabolic mics on the sideline caught. It was like, oh my God. Here comes Aaron Donald. So, yeah, and there's no man card violation because most of us would shriek like a little girl if that was coming at us. So props to Geno Smith for at least that. But outside of that, your team kind of looks like booty all of a sudden, man.
You want me to talk about them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I've already given you my prediction.
They didn't look like booty in the first half. So obviously I watched the whole game. They actually looked really good in the first half. In the second half, two of the guys in the line were injured. They brought in backups. They started getting pressure on Seattle and they could do nothing. So that's what happened on the offensive side. Defensively, that's where I was disappointed because they did a great job stopping the run, but Goff was just throwing, not Goff, but Stafford was just throwing all over that secondary, which I did not expect that to happen. That kind of blew me away. I think it's a 1 week anomaly. I am worried about the line being injured. It sounds like the guard and the left tackle will not be playing is what I'm hearing. So that's going to be a problem for Geno. He's going to have a tough time with that big time. They're going to put pressure on him. We're going to really need Kenneth Walker to step up and Charbonnet to step up. I think Seattle still wins this game. I don't believe in Detroit yet. I'm not sold. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Seattle's going to win on the road. They're better than they were last week. They are. I'm not buying what I saw last week. I just can't. Now, if I see it 2-3 weeks in a row, I'm buying, but I'm not there yet.
Well, I'm not saying Detroit Lions are going to win a Super Bowl, but I'm buying they're going to whoop your ass.
I'll take the 6 points in the Seahawks.
Randy, what do you think? The Lions or Seahawks in this matchup?
Well, I got to tell you, Detroit is made me a believer. I mean, what they did over the second half of last season and into this year, they didn't lose a step. And I feel like Jared Goff is a quality quarterback that can put the ball anywhere he wants to. And I was quite surprised at Seattle. I'm not convinced that their defense is going to be able to keep up with Detroit's offense. And conversely, with those injuries on your offensive line, I think the Detroit Lions are going to, with a young kid and that other guy on the other side. I mean, I can't think of their names off the top of my pointy little head right now. Was his name Atkins or what's his name? Aiken or I don't know. I think I think Gino's going to be aching after this game. Give me Detroit, and I don't know that it's going to be a big blowout, but I think it's good enough to win the game.
Keon?
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit too. I think it is going to be a good game, but I'm like Ralph. I don't like what I saw from that Seahawks defense last week, specifically the secondary. Tariq Woolen did his job. That dude shut down his side of the field. Yep. But you go to the other side of the field where Trey Brown was supposed to be patrolling. No, that guy got roasted alive, and he's going to be going up against Josh Reynolds of the Lions, who isn't a big name guy, but Josh Reynolds put up a bunch of yards last week against Kansas City. And if Trey Brown's going to play like that, I actually don't think I can take the Seahawks there. I know Jamal Adams is supposed to be back, I think. So that's
supposed to be back, and Witherspoon's supposed to be there too. So Witherspoon might start over Trey Brown.
Witherspoon would be a big help there. But if Trey Brown's the guy, man, that is not good. And I do think that it's supposed to be a strength of Seattle to run the football. They kind of struggled to do that too last week. So there's a lot of ifs for Seattle to kind of get back on track. So I'm taking Detroit.
Bob Schwersky says, "Hey, happy Thursday, my friends. A, I can't see Detroit going 2-0. B, tomorrow's going to be a miserable day hearing all the Viking fans gloat about them upsetting the Eagles tonight." Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Miserable for who?
Yeah, well, everyone. It's miserable when you have to listen to Vikings fans gloat. It's miserable when you have to listen to Eagles fans gloat. So either way, I think Bob Schwersky's right. By the way, good to hear from you again, Bob Schwersky. The hell you been, buddy? All right, back to who wants their team next? Keon, you want yours? Should we do the Colts? Which one do you want to do?
Let's do the Colts.
It's really looking for volunteers, Randy. That's people who don't want to go. So which team will get their first win? My prediction, neither. It's just bad. It's really bad.
Neither team?
No. It's gonna be a tie. They're gonna tie at 0. It's gonna be
I don't
another
think that's
Houston
gonna happen.
Indianapolis tie.
Yeah, it's gonna be
horrible. Those do have happened, but two new quarterbacks. I'm taking the Colts in this one. I don't like the Texans offensive line still. They haven't fixed it. They even come close to fixing it.
Colts is dinged up.
It's Laramie Tunsil. I mean, I understand the Colts have a dinged up offensive line, but who can get away from pressure better? CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson? Oh, that's right. It's Anthony Richardson. I'm going to take Anthony Richardson because he can run. So I'm going to go there. And I also thought that the Colts defensive line was also really good. They got a lot of pressure. And if you're gonna go up against Houston's O-line, it could be a really long day for CJ Stroud. I think he's going to get beaten up a ton. And I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be an ugly win, but it'll be a win for the Colts, I think.
Randy, you got my Colts, or do you have the hapless Houston?
I'm taking the blue horseshoe. I mean, this is almost
don't.
I mean, come on.
Say it.
Don't say it. Don't.
Come on.
Don't, man.
It's laughable to think that anybody would take Houston on this one.
Oh, no. All right.
He didn't say it, though. He didn't say it.
Go ahead to get into your bottle of haterade there, Ralph.
No, I actually think the Colts win this game. I think CJ Stroud's going to get sacked 5 times in this game. I really do. I don't think the line's there to protect him, and the Colts are going to be all over him. And I think I really like Anthony Richardson, and I think he's good enough to make things happen to where they win this game. I'm taking the Colts. I hate to say that because I'd love to look at you and say they suck and they're going to lose, but they shouldn't. They should win this game.
Hey, man, both our teams are 0-1.
I know. So I want to see you 0-2 and me 1-1, but it's not going to happen. I think we both win this one.
Yeah, we both get what we want. We both get the Colts winning and the Seahawks losing.
Fine. I hope you tie.
All right. So let's go now to Keon Rose's game. Keon is a Washington Commando fan. You are undefeated now. How's that feel? First week of the new era of Josh Harris and this new Washington Commandos without the stank of Dan Snyder on it. But then there was the new Denver Broncos team that was supposed to be better. And Russell Wilson was supposed to be better. And then Sean Payton came out and did a dumb thing. And then, that game went south in a hurry. And so now you guys are visiting the Mile High Stadium, which before Dan Snyder just kept trying to join the Mile High Club with the cheerleaders in. But this is actually going to be about football. So the Washington Commandos versus the Denver Broncos. I'll let you go first, Ralph. What do you think?
I think this is the lowest scoring game of the weekend. I really do, because I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to move the ball very well against that Washington defense, which besides the Jets looked phenomenal. again, I know who they played, but still they look phenomenal. But the Broncos kind of scare me. I don't Washington's quarterback scares me a little bit because he's like everybody else's guy. He's new and he's going to have his ups and downs, but I think he can probably have enough ups to win this game. I'm not a Denver Bronco believer. I feel their defense is going to shut down Russell Wilson in that offense, and I'm going to go with the Commanders.
Randy? I too am going to go with the Washington Commandos, or whatever their name is going to be, the Washington Football Commandos.
They're not changing it back.
I am not I am not yet a believer in Sean Payton or Russell Wilson. So the Commandos win 42-16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see that.
I don't see that either. But
42-16.
I'm sorry, Keon. I got Captain Cringe winning this game, actually, and beating the Washington Commandos at Mile High. Don't forget, Sean Payton is still Sean Payton. And he can wring every last bit of whatever out of this team and Russell Wilson. His entire existence is on the line for this. And I feel like this is going to be one for Denver. So, Keon, what do you say?
Well, I was fully expecting to be alone on this one, so I'll take the support that I can get, I guess. But I think I'm going with the Commanders too, and I think part of it is the defense, like Ralph said, it looked really, really good, and Russell Wilson just looked pedestrian last week. He wasn't bad.
That means a guy who walks and doesn't drive, Ralph.
Yeah. It's just he just looked very middle of the road. And the thing is, he had most of his targets last week to running backs. He just checked down a lot. He looked scared. It didn't look like the Russ that when we say let Russ cook, like he didn't look like that guy. He looked not like Captain Cringe, but Captain Checkdown. I don't know how I feel about that. For Sam Howell, find Patrick Surtain on the field and then don't throw the ball there. I don't care who it is. Just don't throw it over there because that guy is scary and he will absolutely pick off passes. That's going to be the only warning I have for there, but I'll take the Commanders. Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Those are all our games, I think. Oh, no, wait, there's one more.
Does that qualify?
There's one more to go. Two of the most exciting teams.
I agree with that. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Oh boy.
At some point in the past. Right now, we've got to take a look at the New York Football Giants and these Arizona Cardinals. And as bad as the Giants were playing against the Dallas Cowboys, as bad as they were, as much if Daniel Jones looked like he was shell-shocked. He was going to have to go into some sort of facility to get the PTSD wiped off of him. The Arizona Cardinals are so bad. I can't. I'm sorry, Randy. The Giants get their first win this weekend, and the Arizona Cardinals go to 0-2, which is it's a good thing.
Okay,
it's a good thing for your future.
All right,
but I'm sorry to tell you this.
Sell me, man, because like I told you, from now on, all I hear you guys saying about the Cardinals is all right.
Well, then I'm less sorry then. Ralph, go ahead.
You sound like a doctor. It's a good thing you have syphilis. Don't worry about it.
It just means you got laid finally.
It just oh no.
So yeah, the Cardinals offense was the most pathetic thing that I saw on TV last weekend. They're just terrible. Their defense surprised the heck out of me, but I don't believe that. I don't believe what I saw. I believe they're going to be what we thought they were. The Giants are not going to be like they were last week. I don't see it. If the Giants go into this game and lose, now they're the worst team in football.
Absolutely.
By far. But I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry. I see the Giants coming in here and taking out their frustration on the Cardinals and blowing them out. That's my opinion. I'm going to take the Giants.
I want the Cardinals to win for my wife and for my friend. But Keon, will they?
I don't think they will. And
see how I put that on him now?
And the thing is, it's not the defense. It's Josh Dobbs couldn't move the ball. Nope. They could not move the ball on offense. The defense was surprisingly good.
All right. Well, Randy, this is your team. Let's hear your prediction for Arizona Cardinals versus the New York Giants.
Week 2 finds the amazing Birds of Prey at home at the Silver Nest to take on the New Jersey/New York Giants. 4 out of the last 5 times Big Red has defeated these Giants. This week will be no different.
Last week against the Commandos, we saw a strong and vicious defense. Danny Dimes will be running for his life all day long. Red Sea, listen to me. This is the week we even the score and go 1-1 on this 23-24 campaign. Nobody comes into the Silver Nest and takes away our respect. Nobody can beat us at the Silver Nest. That's why I say we need to show up en masse and let's rain down hell on these New Jersey, New York Giants. We take no prisoners. This will be utter annihilation. The Cardinals will beat the Gigantes 35-3 in what will forever be known as the Giant Kill in Glendale.
Oh, look at that! Almost rhymed. That almost rhymed right there. That's pretty good. All right, Randy. Oh wait, what's going on? Are we still on the air, or did it go to commercial? Oh, so are we on air, or is it at commercial?
We are on air. I thought you were gonna.
Oh, okay. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna fire up a thing or something? I don't know what you're doing in there.
I don't know. I thought you were gonna toss it, and then.
Oh. Did you stop the commercials?
No.
During the 4-day super sale, September 15th through the 18th, and get 40% off.
Just turn it off.
You're confusing me right now.
Hit pause or something in there. Just hit pause. It's okay. Yeah, that's on me. I misjudged the time. I can fix things if you let me.
Okay. I just don't know what you're asking me to do.
Well, pause the commercial. Let me know if we're actually still talking on actual radio, and I'll reset some things. So,
7 years ago.
Well, it's paused.
Thank you so much, everybody, for helping on this. All right, so I can see we're still on air. That's a good thing.
Yeah, we are.
All right, everything's fine. Everybody, Randy, relax.
Oh, I'm completely, totally relaxed. As a matter of fact, I could take a nap.
Okay, I'm fixing things. That's all that's happening here. There's nothing to worry about. All right, go ahead and there you go. Now we can get out of this hour. That was all 1,000,000% my fault. Is that why you're drowning me out the audio now?
No, that's my fault. I accidentally put it back up at commercial.
Badfish says 35-3. He says. Swozman says, oh, he's already giving the questions for fantasy football. All right, I get your post, Swozman. But you're right, because here in just a few minutes, we will hear from Scott Engel, Fantasy Sports Writing Association Hall of Famer and writer for The Game Day. And he will answer all your fantasy football questions. Load them up and get them in. 888-368-1580. And remember, try not to make them long-winded. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, September 15th through the 18th, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix, 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
People settle down.
Because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it. Everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Keon Rose in the control room. And hey, look, it's Ralph from Harmon Solar joining in. And in a few minutes, we'll have Scott Engel. Do we have Scott on the line yet? Oh, good. We got Scott the King with us right now. He's on the Twitterverse as Scott E. the King. He's a Fantasy Sports Writing Association Hall of Famer, and he is a writer for The Game Day. Hey, Scott, how you doing, man?
Good to be back with you guys. How are you?
Great to have you here. And let me ask you about your fantasy football. How did your first week go?
500. You know, some up and some down, but I'm in about 18 leagues, so you can go different ways for me.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like cheating, though. You know what I mean? Like you got all these different leagues. Do you have any that are more precious to you than others? Do you have like, man,
No,
this is my
There's
favorite?
no cheating. Every league is independent of each other, but I have 2 leagues that are higher stakes than the others.
Oh, okay. So some you've got with a little something
Yeah.
on it, and others are just for fun.
Yeah, wow, I got to come on here and get accused of cheat. Look at this.
No, what I'm saying is, it's like, okay, I have one fantasy football team and I live and die on that. I got other guys who have like, I was a fantasy football champion this year. Yeah, I have 33 leagues. Well, of course you're a fantasy football champion, at least one. The math says, you know, eventually one of those is going to do well. You give a room full of monkeys a typewriter and they're going to come out with, War and Peace, right? So
That's really watering it down. I treat every league individually.
well, you do, Scott Engel, because you're a fantasy football king. But these other jacks that I know is just like, they're in like 10 different leagues and they're like, well, once they have one that's winning, they abandon the other ones. And they're like, look at me, I'm amazing at fantasy football. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
It's me more like if at 18, if I win 2 championships, it's not a really successful year for me unless those are 2 of my most important leagues.
Yeah, well, it's really a win for you all the time, Scott Engel. Being a fantasy football expert, you get paid to do this every year while most people don't. So you're already ahead of the game, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. But, you know, hey, you get to talk sports too. So you're doing all right yourself, huh?
Yeah, sometimes we do that. Other times, I don't know.
Yeah.
So normally, before we get to the super fans of the Fourth Dimension and let them ask their questions, the hosts, we like to ask our questions because, well, screw them. We're more important. And, I want to go to the person who had the worst week. The worst week in the Premier League of the Daily Blender Fantasy Football Leagues. Ralph and his wise guys. This is bad. You're gonna have to give him some help. He got 76 points.
So this is how they treat Seahawk fans, by the way, just
Yeah.
so you understand.
Well, that means you also have to talk
we had
slower
a
for
rough
him.
week, my friend.
Yeah, we had a rough week. I get it.
I was pounding on the couch. My son comes in. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "We're getting rolled at home by an inferior team. This is not how I expected to start the season."
Yeah, I'm the same way. I hit my wife at least 3 times. So, I mean, yeah, I
dear
agree.
God. That he's kidding. That's not true.
Oh, no, you should see
His
her.
wife would whoop him so bad. He's probably going to get a beating when he gets home for saying that. So
I do have a question. So I have my 2 quarterbacks are Josh Allen and Jared Goff. Allen looked terrible last week. Goff looked really good. He's going against the Seahawks. Now, I don't believe the Seahawks defense is as bad as they looked last week. I think they're better than that, and they're going to show that this week. But there's that little thing on the side saying, is Allen going to bounce back? Is he going to play better against the Raiders? What do you think?
I think you're overreacting to week 1 just by considering this.
Okay, good.
You never bench Josh Allen for Jared Goff, especially based on 1 game.
Okay, I agree with you. How about one last question? How about Breece Hall? You think he deserves to be in the starting rotation now? You think he's going to get a lot more carries with Rodgers gone?
I think so, but I don't like him this week against the Dallas defense. Let me tell you, you remember that who was the defensive coordinator for those 2013, 2014 Seahawks? Dan Quinn.
Yep.
And some coaches are really great coordinators. They're not great head coaches.
Yeah.
That's what Dan Quinn is. I know it's one game and it's early in the year, but that Dallas defense looks more like the Legion of Boom than anything I've seen since the Legion of Boom.
I agree. Okay.
Ralph, you really should ask more questions.
Wow.
You did so bad. Your team needs so much help.
I had one. You're overreacting. It's one bad week.
All
bad
right.
week.
Well, yeah. Whatever works.
Well, hopefully you hit the waiver wire and you made some good changes.
I'm good.
It doesn't look like he got anything in the waiver.
I've got good players.
Like what's your roster? I'm curious.
I mean, like Josh Allen's my quarterback. I've got Kenneth Walker, Bijan Robinson, and Brees Hall as my running backs. I also have Pacheco as a backup running back. I've got Tyler Lockett, Jacoby Myers, Deontay Johnson, and Christian Kirk are my receivers.
You're in a sea of meh.
That's not too bad, actually.
No, I think it's pretty good. I just think they had a bad week.
Yeah, I think so. That happens.
All right. So who's next? Keon or Andy? Who wants some help from the king of fantasy football here?
Well, hello, Mr. the King. It's me again, Randy, your biggest fan.
How you doing, Mr. the Randy? Good to hear from you.
I'm doing well, Mr. the King, and I have a question. A running back. I've got AJ Dillon. I also have Najee Harris. Both seem to be. I think the favorable matchup is for AJ Dillon, but I want to know what you think. Najee Harris or AJ Dillon to start this week.
Najee Harris is not looking like he has much upside right now. If Aaron Jones doesn't play, I'm going with AJ Dillon.
All right. Very well. Thank you, Mr. the King.
Yes, right. Mr. Randy.
All right. Keon, you got any questions?
I do. I am also in a position where I'm trying not to overreact. But Dallas Goedert got me no points last week, and I don't even know where to begin to make heads or tails of that.
Goedert was supposed to be good.
He's been good in the past, and then last week it was goose egg. They threw the ball to him once and then never again. So, am I overreacting by just wanting to bench him for Hayden Hurst, or should I ride it with Goddard again?
Yes, that's an overreaction to week one. Usually, what happens, and you'll probably see it with T. Higgins this week too, is when a really good proven pass catcher gets blanked one week, the team tries to get him involved early and often the following week. Hayden Hurst, if there was a fantasy Google search and you just typed in fantasy football mediocrity, Hayden Hurst's picture would come up. That guy, him and Tyler Higbee are so mediocre and overrated.
Higbee.
Well, I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
All right. Well, my turn, and I got Jerry Jeudy, and I'm not sure if he's gonna. Is any word? Is he playing this week or not?
It looks like he's practicing in full, and he's expected to play.
All right. So I got the Jerry Jeudy, but I'm a little nervous about him. I also have Cortland Sutton. I got Brandon Cooks. I got Tutu Atwell. And Brandon Cooks didn't do well, even in a game where they completely destroyed the opponent. So I'm a little bit nervous about Brandon Cooks. I don't know. Out of that mess of wide receivers, should I use one of them instead of Jerry Jeudy?
Who was the other one besides Brandon Cooks?
Cortland Sutton, Brandon Cooks, and Tutu Atwell.
Sutton's mediocre too.
Yeah.
Cook has an ankle injury. I don't know if he's going to play.
Oh.
There's no reason when a guy practices in full, though, there's no reason to worry about his injury anymore. What I've read, Jerry Jeudy's been practicing in full.
All right. So I also have Amari Cooper. Do you think Tutu Atwell would do well there, or stick with Amari Cooper?
Yeah, this is respectfully classic after week one overthinking.
Right.
Amari Cooper's a proven fantasy football week in, week out starter. Tutu Atwell had one good week, and I think he's 4'2" and 75 pounds.
Well, that could be an issue. That could be an issue. All right. Well, that's all I need because I actually won my game, so I'm good. Thank you, Scott Engel. Now,
Season's over. Season's over. We won the game. We won the championship.
I'm good. Listen, let's go to the text line. Let's help out some of these super fans of the fourth dimension here. Let's see. Swazman says, need two of these guys. Mike Evans, Bayuk, or D Hopkins. What the hell is B-A?
I'm pretty sure he means
Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, he spelled it so bad.
DeAndre Hopkins may not play. He's missed 2 consecutive days of practice with an ankle injury. So there's your answer.
All right. Simple enough, Swazman. George says, Scott Engel, a.k.a. the King. And that's it. That's all he had to say. George, come with a question.
Thank you, George.
Blissful Hayes has a question. Let me see here. I'm trying to bring this up. My computer is moving a little slow. Nope, he has no question. He's just being an idiot. Screaming Eagle says, okay, for the fantasy football expert, would you start Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen?
You should make a trade. You know,
we've been through this.
Yeah, you make a trade. You know, why did you draft top two quarterbacks?
Scott,
you probably drafted one in the second and one in the third. I'm afraid of what this guy is doing.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
They both have good matchups, but I feel like the angry Bills are going to destroy the Raiders. Yeah, make a trade. You don't need to have two of them. You're going to bench a top quarterback every week.
He's ready to make a trade, but then when Jalen Hurts didn't do quite as well as he thought, he was sort of pausing to see, all right, well, which one of these guys is going to be actually better? But he's a rookie in fantasy football, and he's learning on-the-job training. So he's taking so much crap, man. He has another question.
It's great to be new. You don't have to take too much crap. You know, they're both going to be top-level quarterbacks. They're not going to be much different. So get what you can now for one of them.
Exactly what I told him. So he says the Baltimore defense, will they be able to get decent points against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, or should I try to go get a different defense?
They're trying to go get a different defense. You know, I'd like to hear what's out there. You know, I think the Bengals could have bounced back.
All right. Let's see. Bad Fish says, do I start Godwin or Devontae Smith in the flex?
Devontae Smith must start over Godwin every week.
There you go. You've heard it from the King. Moist One says Jackson Smith in Jigba, Xavier Zay, Kevon Flowers. You know, we don't need their entire birth certificate name, guys. So in Jigba, Flowers, or McLaurin?
I'm going to go with Flowers. He had a really impressive opener, looking like the number one receiver for the Ravens. I like a bounce back week for Jackson Smith and Jigba, but you know, not quite over Flowers.
All right, Jagdog.
If it rains outside, then you'll know to start Zay Flowers because September showers bring Zay Flowers.
Oh, we should blow the whistle on him.
Dad jokes.
Blow the whistle. That's I'm going to give him a 2-minute penalty, but he'll serve that during the commercial break. Let's see. Jagdog says, no, he's just trying to predict games. Here we go. Fecal Mist says, would you drop Antonio Gibson for Kyron Williams, Devon Achane, or Nico Collins?
I'd like to have both Achane and Kyron Williams, but I would probably get Kyron Williams, although I wouldn't use him this week against the San Francisco 49ers of the second best defense in the NFL.
There you have it. Jagdog says, Mr. King, I have the Steelers tight end, Freiermuth, whatever his name is, who's questionable. Who's a good waiver tight end out there to pick up that, you know, he doesn't know
he's been limited in practice. I don't think he's not going to play. But yeah, it really depends on who's out there, though. I need to know who's on his free agent list.
Yeah, that's the part, Jagdog. He can't see your free agent list, but in general,
I'm pretty good, but I'm not that good.
Well, in general, out there in the waivers, you know, outside of the obvious, is there anybody out there, like some sleepers out there you could suggest?
Adam Troutman of the Denver Broncos.
Adam Troutman of the Denver Broncos. Well, that's so sleepy. I've never even heard of him. Wow. Oh, I got to go check him out. Hey, nobody else checks him out. See, that's the problem with doing this show, Scott. I play against these guys, and so then when you give good advice, I have to stand here and talk, and I can see them reaching down and click, 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 click. I can't get nothing done. Let's see. Oaktown Destroyer says, should I play Joe Burrow or Tua Tagovailoa?
I would go with Tua. Well, Tua, it's tough though because I'm not expecting upside from either one. Tua blew up last week, but in 3 of his 4 starts against New England, he hasn't scored over 22 points. He hasn't led the Dolphins more than 22 points. That's why in my props article now on the GameDay.com, I'm recommending as a prop, take the Dolphins under 24.5 points for 1.5 units.
There you go. By the way, you find this information over there at the Game Day, right?
Yes, at thegameday.com. You can also search Scott Engel, thegameday.com. My sleepers and butts for the week are up too.
Don't tell these guys that. I needed to go there before they did. Oh, jeez. All right, fine. Check out Scott Engel on thegameday.com. Next question. 5th letter says, Mr. King, you will now be called Mrs. Queen since you picked the Broncos over my Raiders. You were wrong, man. Okay, this is not about who he picked. 5th letter.
All right. Is he going at me because I'm a Broncos fan? Where's Ralph?
I'm here, man.
43-8. That's all I have to say.
That's right. That's right. But he's a Raider fan.
King of Kenton says, no, I'm not reading that. That's dumb. We have a texter, an unnamed texter. He knows he has to pick himself a texter nickname, but more importantly, he has a question for you. So 0143 says, do I bench Madison and put Michael Thomas or Nakua from the Rams in?
I would go with Nakua. It is a tough matchup, and it's also a tough matchup for Madison. The Vikings are missing 2 starting offensive linemen tonight and going against a ferocious front wall.
All right. Listen, everybody, we have to take a break because we got some things to do, and we've only got 13 minutes before Thursday Night Football broadcast starts. So we want to get all the questions in we can. So 888-368-1580. We got Scott Engel, Fantasy Sports Writing Association Hall of Famer and writer for the Game Day with us right here. Scott E. the King on the Twitters, and we'll answer as many questions in the lightning round when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. Thursday Night Football gets NFL Week 2 started with the Eagles hosting the Vikings. Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia got the season started with a win over the Pats last week, while Minnesota dropped their opener to the Bucs. Join Ian Eagle along with Jason and Devin McCourty for the call on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, 2 of the most exciting offenses in the NFL matchup when the Minnesota Vikings take on the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. It's the Vikings and the Eagles tonight on Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
It's raining in Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio. Celebrating their 30th year, our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is going big.
That's right, Austin. Sports bettors can win a new truck, get the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus, and even get up to 30 risk-free bets.
Touchdown. BetUS also has a 150% casino sign-up bonus.
Blackjack. Now you're talking, Austin. They also have live dealers and live betting on sports, including racetrack.
Get started today at BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Football is back in full swing with another week of epic games. And who's got you covered on the action for every single one of them? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Nobody's missing out on the action this season. All DraftKings customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the app now and use code BET1580 to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. That's code BET1580. The crown is yours. 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
Here we go, boys! Sunday night, the Dolphins take their air attack offense to New England
to take on the Patriots.
The Pats are surly after missing out on the playoffs last season and are looking for a reason to can the Dolphins. Will Zeke make a difference for the Patriots running game, or will the Dolphins run them out of their own stadium? Patriots, Dolphins, Sunday Night Football on your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 58 live, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Coming up, we got the Bills and the Jets. Broadcast starts at 4:30, so that gives us about this much time, 7 minutes, to get your fantasy football questions answered by Scott Engel from thegameday.com. And by the way, if you haven't checked out that site, it's a wealth of information, whether you're into the betting or the fantasy football. And we've got the fantasy football expert right here, Scott E. the King, on the social media networks and stuff. Are you ready to answer some more questions there, Scott?
Of course. I could do this all day, like Captain America said.
Yeah, with your arm tied behind your back. Fecal Mist says, hey, first of all, thanks for all that help earlier. Here's his question. He says, would you keep Kareem Hunt or drop him to add DeAndre Swift or George Pickens?
Get DeAndre Swift now. He's starting tonight. I don't know why you're rostering Kareem Hunt at all. Nobody signed him.
Yeah, he's got a big old NFL logo just sitting next to his name. Moist One says, I think you know what he's thinking about is that there's a rumor that the Colts were talking to him. So
Moist. Yeah, but he's going to come off the street, after all this time. He's not going to be useful. Not with DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. Moist One says, Juwan Johnson, Hayden Hurst, or Drew. Okay. I'm not reading the last one, Moist One. In fact, I think none of those were serious. We're moving on.
Juwan Johnson over Hayden Hurst.
There you go. I'm not even reading the last name. There's a selection of names they always try to get me to say out loud. Hefty Lefty says, has Brandon Ayuk surpassed Debo?
I wouldn't say quite yet, but if it happens soon, I'm not going to be surprised. All
right. Blissful Hayes said, no, I'm not giving you an update on the Diamondbacks game. It was bad. That's all you need to know. It's so damn bad. Mystery Girl says,
I'm a Mets fan, so sorry. We got to take what I can get.
What the hell was that? How did that happen? 7-1, 11 to everything. You guys stink.
Sanger's terrific.
You guys stink, and all of a sudden you just step up and
Sanger's good.
Messing with our hopes and dreams over here.
Yeah.
I got a Dodger fan in the studio, man. We got to win something here. Why are you doing this? Back to the fantasy football. Mystery Girl says, Beckham or Bourne?
Bourne. Haven't seen enough from Beckham yet. Although, I don't think Bourne is as good as we've seen in the first week, but I'll take him over Beckham.
There you go. Fifth letter says, Mr. King, I was totally joking. I respect what you do. Cheers and have another great football week.
It's cool. It's cool.
No, it's not cool. Good. Fifth letter. It's too late. You've dug your grave, and Scott E. the King is gonna bury you in it. Don't worry, man. I got this. Let's see. Turd Ferguson says Addison or Sutton, half PPR.
That's a close call. I'm gonna go with Addison. He's got more upside.
All right. Let's see here. Now people are just asking dumb questions. Yeah. Moist One and They're asking stupid questions. I'm trying to scroll through all the weird.
I'd like to hear sometimes some of the dumb questions, because I had a very dumb trade in one of my leagues today. Guy was desperate for a quarterback in the Superflex. He traded Josh Jacobs for C.J. Stroud.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Moist one says Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, or Keith Hernandez.
I'm gonna go with Gary Cohen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, and the funny thing is, I moved away the dumb question. So, number one Rattlers fan says, at the height of their career, who would you take, Barry Sanders or Marshall Faulk?
Barry Sanders, probably the greatest pure running back of all time. But fantasy-wise,
right?
All time, no, that's NFL. Fantasy-wise, probably the greatest fantasy running back of all time is Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith.
The one thing that he had over Barry is Barry never got in the end zone a lot. Barry created his own space and then made everybody look silly. But when things got kind of crunched down near the goal line, he wasn't a great goal line runner. That's why people, if you remember, touchdown Tommy Vardell, he would drive fantasy players crazy because he'd vulture Barry Sanders all the time.
Big George is freaking out now because he did ask actual questions and I didn't read them. So here we go. Are you ready? Yeah. He's got two of them for you. He says, Mr. The King, would you start A.J. Dillon, Cam Akers, or Brian Robinson in a running back position?
If Aaron Jones doesn't play, I like the matchup for A.J. Dillon.
His second question is, would you start Hayden Hurst or Dawson Knox in the tight end?
I'll go with Hayden Hurst.
Even though it hurts you to say it, huh?
Yeah.
Moist one says, see, now I don't know if this is a real person or not. And I'm going to say his name differently so that just in case I'm being made to say something. Do the Seahawks need to fire Hurts? Clint.
You're talking about Clint Hurdle.
Oh, that's a real person. Okay, good.
Defensive coordinator.
They don't fire coaches one game into the season. That doesn't happen. And when Jamal Adams comes back, I know they take a lot of guff for that trade. He can be a real difference maker because they missed the pass rush last week. And even though the numbers look good, they didn't stop the run early in the game. Jamal Adams can be a huge difference maker. It's not about the coaching. It's, sometimes you don't have the personnel. And, they get Witherspoon back this week. Jamal Adams can make a huge difference when he comes back. Give it time.
Yep.
So when it comes to Anthony Richardson on my Colts, a lot of people say he kind of reminds you of a Cam Newton-esque kind of person, even maybe a Lamar Jackson.
He's already got a better arm than Cam Newton.
Yeah, absolutely right. But if somebody had, say, Lamar Jackson and Anthony Richardson, who should they start this week?
Lamar Jackson's more proven.
Mm-hmm.
It's close. It's close. You're not quite seeing the upside with Richardson. I really like how Richardson looked last week and what he did in the preseason. He doesn't force it when it's not there, and that's what I like about him.
Yeah, as a Colts fan, he's going to make mistakes. This is the educational time. I mean, Peyton Manning lost about every game in his first season, mostly because he didn't have what he needed around him. But I'm okay with an educational year as long as he keeps falling forward and there's an upside on the other side. So hopefully, fantasy football wise, he's got some upside this year as he figures that out, right?
Yeah, but it's not going to be as bad as Manning's first year.
No, I don't know anything that could be. Turd Ferguson wants to know if you think Watson plays this week.
Christian Watson, he's missed 2 practices, not looking good.
Mystery Girl says Swift or Madison.
I am going to go with Swift. He should get a heavy workload tonight.
And another person asking if Jerry Jeudy is going to suit up this weekend. What's your instinct on that?
Like I was telling you before, he's been practicing in full. It's a good sign.
There you go. That's Scott Engel. You can find him on the Twitterverse at Scott E. The King. And you can find him at thegameday.com. Scott, thank you so much for being with us. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580. The Fanatic. Vikings and Eagles are up next.
Hi, it's Tony D. Join me and Ron Culliver every weekday morning. It's your wake-up call, Phoenix, right here on 1580 and 99.3